I'll look
But
at
even
it.
if they are, either way, we don't have to wait for the budget.
No.
No, they're not covering the costs. So like
Really?
most of them are one day.
Well, that's
You know what the fee is? $25.
Yeah.
It's not getting through the review. It's not getting through 5 departments of reviews for $25.
If it requires any security, they pay for that though, right?
Yes.
Right. It's not.
Or
it's
any EMS.
Yeah.
Correct. It's only, yeah, they have to still pay for the costs incurred. Yes.
Somebody making money, because we got certain ones that just take one event after another,
Yeah.
after another. They're making money.
Oh, yeah, they're making money.
They're making money.
Well, we could probably lose the lavender offense
Well,
You good?
because they've lost the lavender.
Yeah, if you need to watch that.
Dude, it's terrible.
They're doing a
Okay.
fundraiser.
It's optional.
Okay,
So they, where the option is, it's not showing up.
okay,
Using your entrance.
okay.
So.
Well, let's just cancel the meeting.
Are we legal with that?
Cancel the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, really, it was very well.
Yeah.
It'll be posted, it'll be posted after.
Yeah, we can record it, so it'll be saved and then be.
Okay,
If it's not live,
No, we don't have to
Yeah.
live
the
stream.
voice is there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, but no video,
That's fine.
right?
It won't live stream any of it.
Oh, it won't do the voice
This
neither?
is the first working through Jessica's account. The first sending out the invite to the meeting, so.
Something with permission from.
It's something either commissioned or.
Well, you need to talk to him. As long as he says we're good, that man sitting right there in that vest. He says we're good, we're good.
It'll be recorded. We can
It's-
upload it.
Once it's recorded, Aaron
Post
will
it,
get
post
posted.
it.
So
More
just-
people do watch the recording than live anyway. So.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move.
all right, let's roll on.
We're pretty psyched that we did it right.
All right, folks, it's a little after 7. We had some technical difficulties, but we up ready to roll now. I'll open this meeting for the October Board of Supervisors meeting. We do have a quorum. Everybody's present. If we can stand and follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Morris.
Powerheads. Most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful fall weather. Thank you for this time of year where we get to enjoy your beautiful artwork and bountiful harvest that you have blessed so many with. Thank you for the opportunity to come together tonight as part of Team Amelia to make decisions for the county. And I pray that we are done according to your will and not our own. Lord, I pray for your guidance and direction as we meet. I pray for calmness, smoothness, and swiftness as we make our way through the agenda tonight. I ask this not only for the ones that are at this table, but for everyone here in this room. Lord, thank you for all of our local events that are coming up. I pray for blessings over them and that they will all be a huge and safe success. Thank you for all who make up Team Amelia and the role they play. Lord, I ask that you send the right ones that we need to fill the voids that we will know and welcome them right away. And Father, I lift up any prayer requests of those that are here and listening, and that they will be answered according to your will. Lord, I also pray for the upcoming election, that the people will get out and vote, and that the ones that you will to win will be the best people that we need to fill those positions, and that they will help move our government in a good, positive direction. And Lord, I have a special prayer request for the Jim Hollins family, a fellow board member in Chesterfield who lost his battle with cancer. Lord, just lift up his family and wrap your loving arms around them and just be with them at this time of need. And Lord, finally, I ask for traveling mercies as we leave here tonight. Lord, we love you and praise you. Amen.
Amen.
Good job, Benji.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. All right, there again, thank you all for coming out on this nice evening. What's the board's pleasure on the approval of the agenda? I do not have any amendments. Does anybody else have any? I'll entertain a motion to approve. So move. Motion to accept the agenda as presented. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Brings us to the consent agenda. The only change I need to make think there was some confusion on who motioned to adjourn last month's meeting. It was actually Mr. Morris. We can have that noted in the minutes. Any other changes or questions on the consent agenda?
I just want to add that, people be mindful when they fill out permits to make sure they take their time and fill it out properly and think of,
Okay.
answered
Appropriate
appropriately, yes,
attendees to these events.
yes. Other than that, I move to accept.
All right, motion to accept the consent agenda with those corrections. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. All right, gentlemen.
Benji, did you want to read? Did you want to read what was in the?
Sure.
Oh, I just, that. it did-
Yeah,
That's something you had been, I didn't know if you.
Correct. You want me to read it? Or you mind going through?
Go right ahead.
All right, let's see, removal of FOIA allowance, transfer balance of dormant grant funds, voting authorization for VACO, special event permit for the Christmas parade, another permit for the Christmas parade and the park craft show, Christmas park and illumination, and the Amelia corks and forks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. There was another section added to the standing agenda. Probably gonna be their staff recognition for resolutions. Probably gonna have people retiring, so it'd be just be a place there to put those. So with that being said, we've got one tonight. I'm gonna ask if Mr. Tommy Poole will come up and meet me in front. We all been going up, you know.
Yes, sir.
He got clean, we come in this time. Congratulations. Folks, I got a resolution here from Mr. Tommy Poore. He's retiring after 22 years of faithful and dedicated service to Amelia County. Whereas Tommy E. Poore was hired on December 9, 2003, as a maintenance worker for Amelia County Maintenance Department. Whereas he began his career repairing and maintaining buildings, grounds, and vehicles, working tirelessly to keep things running smoothly. And whereas Tommy Poore later moved to the custodial department, where he worked diligently keeping facilities clean and sanitized. And whereas on July 5th, 2012, he without hesitation selflessly jumped into help and saved lives during an attempted prisoner escape from Amelia County Courthouse. And whereas Tommy Poore has been a valued member of the Public Works team, and his hard work, reliability, friendly nature will be deeply missed. We wish him many years of happy and fulfilling retirement. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Amelia County Board of Supervisors recognizes Thomas E. Poore for his distinguished service to the employees and citizens of Amelia County, adopted this 15th day of October 2025. Yeah, come on, baby, we'll get all of us. We'll get you something on the wall. You go ahead.
One time. Peter, go ahead. I hope we can get you out.
Look closer up the side there. Get one more. What?
You break the camera.
Hey, that'll be a little bit. I miss you. Enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Enjoy your retirement.
I can have it.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, can I get a motion to accept that resolution and approval of it?
Move to accept and approve.
We got a motion to approve the resolution we just read for Tommy for his retirement. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion approved. Thank you. Thank you, Tommy. All right, that brings us to the public comment time. Anybody wishing to speak to the board? We don't have any public hearings tonight, so if you'd like to speak, please come up, state your name and address.
Hi, my name's Emily Johnson, 11621 Promised Land Road. This isn't so much a comment for you necessarily, but for our VDOT representative. I was talking with a friend the other night who lives on 604, and he mentioned that he brought up a concern on the speed of 604 between Lodore and 360 to the board several months back. I'm sorry, I don't remember the date that was. I'm just wondering if there's an update on that speed study. That's really it there. So that's all I have.
Okay, we will try to get you an answer here shortly.
Thank you.
And with several studies, it's not a one-time situation.
Anybody else? All right, I'll close the public comment and we'll move on. Ms. Worley, I think you got your first question.
Good evening. I'll start by addressing the first question. So 604 speed limit, I can't recall exactly when the last study was done, but Mr. Jones is correct. We have done a couple of speed studies on that road. I can check to see when the latest one was done, but it did recommend keeping the existing speed limit. I think the sheriff's office added some of those speed feedback signs at curve locations that VDOT approved. And that was the most recent change that was made on that road, but I'll confirm when the last speed study was done there.
Can I interrupt you just for 1 second?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you lady that just spoke,
Yes.
what was your address?
621 Promised
Was that the road you were concerned about?
Land? No.
Okay.
604,
Okay.
360.
Okay. I'm good.
All right. So to update on our area headquarters monthly activities, the area headquarters replaced a pipe on West Creek Road at the end of last month. They are about to start their final cut of mowing on 360 in the medians. That will occur either starting late this week or early next. Our secondary mowing contractor is also in their final cut for the season. And that started on Monday. They've got 30 days to complete that cycle on all secondary roads throughout the county. Area headquarters has also been cutting back ditch lines and vegetation on Route 616 and numerous other roads off of 616 throughout the county to clean it up before frost season. And have performed multiple asphalt digouts on Richards Lane. And then they also added Perkinson Road is another one that they've done multiple asphalt digouts due to some impacts from heavy truck traffic on both of those routes. In addition, they looked at the location on Dykeland Road that was mentioned at the last meeting and found that it does look like the pipe is starting to fail on one end. So that location has been patched until that pipe replacement can be scheduled. But it likely will not occur until the spring, but we'll keep an eye on it and keep it patched until they can fully replace that pipe there. For traffic studies and special requests, Route 609, so some of the sign work that I mentioned last month has been completed. This was some intersection warning signs and curve warning signs with advisory speed plaques. But we still need to install the statutory speed limit signs showing 55 and 45 miles per hour for trucks. On the Amelia side, they're already in place on the Powhatan side, actually. And then we're awaiting pavement markings to close some of the passing zones that no longer meet sight distance requirements on that section of 609. At the intersection of 614 and Route 38 by the schools, those pavement markings have now been completed with the stop bars. After we patched that intersection. And Route 620, Rodafil Road, traffic engineering, I think I mentioned this last meeting, but I didn't have official confirmation back from traffic engineering. But they did confirm that the statutory 35-mile-per-hour speed limit was appropriate for that rural rustic. And so we've sent that to our sign crew for installation. Route 360. So again, the latest speed studies did not support a change to the speed limit, but traffic engineering did analyze crash data at the two signalized intersections at 360 Business and Food Lion, that intersection, as well as Route 604 Chula. Both of those intersections have had a flashing yellow arrow for the left turns that was implemented probably 2 or 3 years ago at this point. And so they recommended, based on the crash data that they reviewed, they recommended some changes to those flashing yellows that will be implemented here shortly. So at both locations, they'll implement a 5-second delay between when traffic on 360 going through gets the green and when that flashing yellow gets the flashing yellow. And that just helps to clarify for folks who are trying to turn left. Traffic is already coming toward them, and so that they know they have to yield to that traffic. So it's a little bit of a delay that we've implemented in some other locations that has helped with crash history. And then the other change at the 360 Business intersection is that the flashing yellow arrow will not be operational during the peak PM hours. So from 3:30 PM to 6 PM, it'll just be a protected green arrow during those time periods, just because of heavy traffic during that afternoon peak hour. So those changes will be implemented soon. From a construction standpoint, the phase 1 Amelia Courthouse sidewalk project is still ongoing. That the fixed completion date for that project is in January, but they're ahead of schedule. They expect to be completed around Thanksgiving timeframe this year. I can skip the phase 2 because I know we have an agenda item on that later. And surface treatment is ongoing on various routes throughout the county. And I think they're wrapping up in the next week or so on that. And one other item on resurfacing Route 38 from Military Road 153 to around Cheatham's is being paved, and that should be completed by the end of this week. And the only other item I wanted to mention was this will be my last board meeting for a few months as I'm going on maternity leave. So I've brought Justin Pachin, my assistant residency administrator. He'll be filling in my role for the next few months. So I'll make sure I share his contact information with you, Mr. Pollitt, and board members, so you all can stay in contact with him. So, and with that, if there are any questions, yes, sir.
First of all, good luck on your
Thank you.
maternity leave.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the promptness of the VDOT crew coming out and throwing down a little bit of asphalt on that. We didn't cover it all the way, but they made the attempt.
Mhm.
But I was asked last night by one of my citizens that lives over near us, and I brought this up before several years ago. What is the plans for the 604 bridge going into Powhatan? Because they had a legitimate concern that bridge is in rough shape.
Yes. Yeah, so it has a weight restriction on
Yeah,
it
well, that
currently.
don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
That don't mean nothing.
So, so I will say that's the residency from my perspective. That's our number one priority for a bridge replacement in all 3 counties that we have. It does now qualify for state of good repair funding, based on the condition index. And so we anticipate that funding will start probably in 2027. So we're still a couple of years out from having funding to start design work, but it is slated for a full replacement. And I will say in the meantime, we've spoken to our bridge maintenance folks and they're gonna continue to do maintenance on it to make sure that the weight restriction does not lower any
Mhm.
until the time that they can replace it. So you will see some preventative maintenance work out there in the meantime.
That's good. Will they basically try to do like you did on the 609 bridge, leave that one up while they're putting a new one beside it? Because I don't.
Yeah,
think-
that I don't know at this point if they have a plan for a detour
Okay.
or, yeah, if they plan to just construct side by side.
Yeah.
That would all be decided during the design process.
So 2027 one should, so I'll call her and tell her that. She'll be happy.
Yeah, probably starting design work then,
Yeah.
so, it'd still be
Well, I know it's gonna take a while.
a time after that before construction started, but yeah.
I can't only get the combine through there.
Wasn't that bridge replaced one time, like years ago?
Not in my lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Since you usually get complaints, I was gonna give you some praise from last month's meeting. When I talked about the gravel at the end of Butler's Road and 153, I was just gonna let everybody know it was 5 minutes to 7 when I came by there the day after our meeting last month. And whoever it was, I guess it did the tar and gravel, they were out there scraping the loose gravel up. So I appreciate that. You can't get better service than that. So you were Johnny on the spot on that one.
Well, it's just like that patching. They was over there within 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
This is in 12 hours.
Oh.
Somebody made a phone call that night. Thank you.
I will say, I recommend to people to use, the app and put the ticket in because it gives the tracking, and the people that I've given it to, I mean, in my own experiences too, it's just only a couple day turnaround on anything that I've put in. And that includes, like trimming trees back when it's a visibility problem or anything. I like that too, because you get good tracking back for individual citizens as well. And yeah, they're pretty responsive.
All right.
Enjoy your time off.
Thank you. Well, I'll
Be
stick around
interested.
for the discussion about the phase 2. I have a project later.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Mayor. Dr. Harper?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Mr. Pollitt. Our September 30th ADM was 1489. At the end of September, K-12 enrollment was 1497, and pre-K-12 enrollment was 1562. We had a successful homecoming last week, and at the October school board meeting earlier this week, we recognized Amelia County Public Schools staff for their years of service. We also recognized our school board members for their service credits for governance training over the past 2 years. An update was given on progress on our strategic plan, as well as survey results regarding development of the 2025-2026 academic calendar. In your packet, you have the September financial reports and appropriation request, and Mr. Trump is here to present those.
Good evening. Today I'm sharing with you the finance reports for September of FY26. To be meeting our goals, expenditures should be at about 18.24%. We are above that figure at 21.01%. This is a continuation of the trend seen early in this fiscal year, and as I've shared previously, these increased expenditures relative to projected year-long trends are the result of significant expenses being incurred early in the school year, such as security grant expenditures, tuition for regional programs, and so on. This month shows a slight improvement over the gap from last month, and we expect these numbers will continue to move closer together as the year moves on. In the textbook fund, expenditures are at 24.79% for FY26. Funds 4 and 5 for all-in and construction have expenditures of appropriated funds at 14.99% and 0% respectively. And in the cafeteria fund, expenditures are at 7.39% for FY26. So I have for the finance report, we do have one appropriation for your consideration this evening. If you have any questions about the finance report, that would be great. If not, I can move on.
I'm good, go ahead.
For your approval this evening is a request to appropriate $70,176 to operating revenues and expenditures for ACPS. This fall, and this is a correction from the letter in this states that we were selected in the fall. We were selected in January, but this fall the approval process moved forward. So this fall, ACPS's application for the schools and library cybersecurity pilot program was approved, distributed to vendors for bids through and distributed to vendors for bids through USAC's processes. The vendor selected through the approved bidding process has requested that we use the billed entity applicant reimbursement invoicing method, a new one for Amelia County Public Schools this time around, which requires the participants to pay the service provider in full before seeking reimbursement from USAC. We've received funding at the same agency that facilitates E-rate funding that supports our telecommunications bills. They pay a significant portion of that bill, and generally we're just billed directly for the local portion. This is the first time where we've gotten to the vendor selection, and the vendor has said they'd prefer to have the money from us up front and have us go to the government for the remainder of the portion, which is why it's being appropriated at this point in time. It's kind of just a timeline issue for the grant program. We are requesting an appropriation of the full award amount to ensure that the increased expenditure within our budget is offset by the increased revenue provided by the reimbursement. At this time, this grant is still in process. The majority of our expenditures are complete. But as I said, this is a new grant process for us. We don't know if there will be an ability to go back and recoup final funds or make adjustments. So at this point, what we know is the total amount that we could receive back, and that's what is in the original appropriations request.
Okay. When will you know exactly how much you get?
At this point, I know what we have expended to date, and I can give a projection of what we would have based on to date expenditures. The expenditures, well, the committed expenditures to date through purchase orders and payments made is $57,751.42. After acquiring for the 10% local match, if we're not able to go back and make adjustments or further purchases, the anticipated reimbursement would be $51,976.28. We are still in the process of getting the final documentation for filing for reimbursements, and we anticipate at that time we'd be able to see if there's further ability for adjustment or other orders that allow us to access the remaining approximately $18,000. But at this point, we know based on approved expenditures, once we go through the process, the $51,976.28 is what we should be receiving back.
So is it just up to each provider, participant, whatever they're called? I guess you're the participant, the vendor. They just get to tell you whether they want, how they want the billing to work? It's each.
They don't get, there's just two options.
Mhm.
So what they are allowed to do is that they can elect to basically bill the granting organization and the school division or the participant separately.
Mhm.
And in that case, we received funding through this organization previously, and we haven't brought appropriations forward to the board because the additional funds have never been receipted by us, never expended by us. So
Yeah.
it was really just our ability to spend our funds, and that really is all we had to account for. This is the first time that we've been faced with this, and it was kind of new for us this fall when we found out that's how it was going to be processed. I don't think, I'll be honest, I wasn't aware that there was an option before. I just knew how E-rate had functioned and how the FCC funds had functioned. When this came through, we saw it, and Mr. Lynch and I talked about it, which is why the appropriation is coming forward at this time. So I think it's not really they get to have free range to say however they want to work. They're given two options, and this is our first time experiencing a vendor selecting that secondary option.
It says a pilot program. Is that something it's not, it's just do a little test run, or is it gonna be something that's in place for a while?
Looking at the letter, it's a significant program. It's about $200 million across the grant, but that would be nationally. Talking to Mr. Lynch, this actually provides us with the hardware and contracting for 3 years worth of the cybersecurity services process. ideally with these pilot programs, sometimes it is a nudge to get you to adopt more rigorous things and then it gives you time to figure out how you're going to sustain it. Sometimes they come back every few years and renew. We don't know how this one will go at this point, but this does cover us for 3 years worth of cybersecurity protection.
Okay.
But in either case, in any case, you're going to get reimbursed for whatever amount you spend up
Correct.
to the 70,000. I just went off the page, $70,176, right?
Correct.
All right, so would you accept a motion that said up to $70,176, based on the final amounts? Something like based on final amounts up to 70,176, just to be clear, because like you said, you don't know exactly what it's going to come into between the 51 and the 70. Is that
I think that'd just be in terms of speak about what that final commitment is and how we make that work between making sure we communicate that and we know when things are closed, where we'll land.
Right. But that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying, though, right? Is you're not going to exceed the 70,156.
Of course.
Obviously,
I think from a budget perspective, I think we'd be requesting that we put that amount into revenues, anticipated revenues and anticipated expenditures.
Right.
And then it would be incumbent on the school division to know that if we only spend 57 and we only receive a certain amount back, we are operating knowing that those are the real expenditures that we have to reconcile to and ensure other expenditures align with that and don't exceed actual available funds.
Right.
But you say you've spent 57 plus to date,
We have,
committed
we
57,000.
committed about 47. There's another 10 that's in process.
And what do you expect to spend after that? I mean, are you
That
almost
is-
done or what?
That is the total of the original approved processes. Basically, looking into this more, the way this really works is that you're given that preliminary amount. When you go out to bid, you have to request services that you don't think will exceed that amount. And then the vendors come back to you and they say, well, this is how much it's going to cost. And you have to choose the most cost-effective option. So there is money left on the table. And that makes sense in the grant perspective. They don't want to go over their total budget for the grant program either. I think one thing we don't know about yet is that in some federal grants, and they all tend to work differently, and as I said, this is one we don't have a lot of experience with, there are times where they may come back and say, okay, everyone in the pilot program, everyone spent less than what they were allocated on purpose. Now here's round 2. Here's another opportunity to access remaining funds. We don't know if that will happen. So as I said, right now, based on completed, or issued orders and completed payments, what we anticipate will be finished on this round at this stage, we're at the totals provided previously. In terms of knowing the full reimbursement timeline, we're still waiting on the next round of information about how to file the reimbursement, when we'll receive it. It may be a couple months later where they come back and say, you can access the remaining funds, or it may simply be closed. We don't know. So I guess at that point, if a lower amount were appropriated based on what we have, presenting what we have done, it just opens the opportunity for us to possibly have to come back and request the additional funds at a later date if they become available.
Well, and in no case are you asking for local funds. In either case, you're not asking for any local funds. So that's really usually the key for us.
Anybody else got any questions? What's the board's pleasure?
I'll make the motion then for appropriation of the local revenue and offsetting local expenditures of $70,176 for acceptance of this grant, and specifying, as it says in it, that there's no additional local match or local funds.
Okay. Motion on the floor, gentlemen, to make the appropriation. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion fails. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, that takes us to the staff report and quarterly reports. Was there any questions on those? I really like I ain't gonna pick on one person, community development. I didn't know there's that many events going on in the county. 32 of them so far. Let me get all the way through them here.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I thought there was one I had a question on, but I can't remember what it was.
All right. Community presentation, was River Street coming or?
No.
That's next week.
No, they were invited and scheduled. It's brief summary in the staff report. They were invited, and this was scheduled back in August, and then
I
a
remember
late
that.
cancellation. Let's put it that way.
I should have took that off the agenda. My fault.
But there's some information in there about the money for the broadband program. So
Okay.
if the board has questions after reviewing it, you can follow up with me and I can get some more information, but they are supposed to come next month.
Okay, all right. How about Crossroads?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, County Exec, County Administrator Bullitt, members of the board and County Administrator and visitors in the audience. I am Dr. Melba Moore, Executive Director of Crossroads Community Services Board. Thank you for allowing us to come before you this evening. I have with me Dr. Michelle Ebright, our Outpatient Clinical Services Director, who is going to present the measures of success. This year, we're focusing on the data. What is the data telling us and the decisions that we're going to make to ensure that the services are provided to all of the citizens that we service in the 7-county area? So Dr. Ebright's going to present her measures and metrics for success. I do believe there was a presentation that was sent over. And we would like to come back because there are some changes that are going on as relates to Medicaid redesign. And we will come back and really lay that out for you to give you an opportunity to ask questions and know more about what does this mean for our 7-county area. Thank you.
No, wait till my presentation comes up. Okay. So Dr. Moore asked me to come and just talk a little bit about how we're doing when we're compared to the other CSBs in our region with some data metrics that the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services actually provides. So I'm just calling this Building Success One Measure at a Time. I thought that was kind of a snappy, fun title for it. But you can move on. Okay, so first of all, I don't know if you all are aware of what all services we provide and that are included in outpatient services. So this slide just gives you kind of an overview of those services. I don't really want to read it, but this is a pretty comprehensive array of mental health services that are available to everybody across all the 7 counties. Every service is provided within each of the counties. Nobody's left out of anything. The only distinction I will make is the Farmville Clinic is our largest clinic. And so we have more substance abuse groups occurring at that clinic. And people come from all of our various clinics to attend those groups. And we provide transportation to people who are in the outlying clinics and they want to attend a group in the Farmville Clinic. We provide that transportation. It's not Medicaid funded. We just do that as a service we provide. So next slide. So these are this is the state dashboard. So these are the things that the state is using to evaluate whether or not we're meeting the expectations for these services. That's not the best graphic in the whole world, but I hope you can see it. So what this shows, I wish I would have brought a paper copy. Does somebody have a paper copy? Can I borrow it?
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. I can't. Okay, so what this shows is the light green is what the state has established as the goal. The dark green is what the state is currently doing, and then Crossroads average is
there in yellow. And this is showing you 3 fiscal years. The metric is mental health youth engagement. That means somebody comes in to services, a youth comes in for mental health treatment, and do they schedule another appointment within 30 days? Are we able to keep them engaged in services for at least 30 days? So we started out with some, some needs that we needed to work on. We were at 48%. We were well below the state average. But when last measured, we were just a smidge below what the state is expecting and just a smidge below the state average. We were at 68%. The standard the state wants from us is 72. So you can see that that's a significant increase in that metric. Part of that, to be fair, I can't take credit for, it just looking as good as it does. Part of it was that we were not capturing the data correctly in our EHR, electronic health record. So the information that we were feeding back to the department was missing some components. Part of this was us being more diligent to make sure we're outreaching and keeping people engaged. Part of it was an issue of how we were, sending data to the state through our EHR. The next area is adult mental health engagement. It's the same metric really, but for adults. When you come in, are we able to get you in for another service within 30 days? The state wants that at 67%. The average across CSBs in fiscal year 2022 was 58%, and we were at 41%. Currently, the state metric is expectation is 61%. The average across the state is 61, and we came in at, I don't have my glasses, we came in at, I think it's 68%. So we're above the standard for that. And we can thank our case management staff for that increase. Substance use disorders initiation. This means somebody comes in and they're diagnosed with a substance use disorder. Are we successful in getting that person back in within 14 days? Are we going to be able to keep them engaged long enough that they're going to come in again within 14 days? And this is something that we have really, really focused on. And so we've been doing well above in this area all across, and we've just maintained that progress because that's something that we've really, really focused on. I'm sure, as you all know, it's very, very difficult to keep people with addiction issues engaged in services. We lose a lot. And we do lose a lot past the 14 days. I mean, a lot of people come in for a little while and then they'll kind of peter out. And because of the nature of the disorder, they're very hard to find once they lose connection to the agency. The last one has to do with substance use disorder in continuing engagement. And again, we have really focused on this metric and are now above what the state expects. So we're exceeding the standard on that. Last slide. These are some areas in terms of measures of success that we've just identified within our own agency, within our own operations versus what the state is expecting. So we had noticed that there are a lot of cancellations and no-shows for clients just missing appointments. That costs us a lot of money, and it's a very poor use of our clinicians' time. So what we did was we developed and implemented a missed appointment policy. You may hear people complaining about it. You may get calls saying Crossroads kicked me out of services. We might have kicked them out of services because what we've established is you cannot miss or no-show. If you cancel, that's different. But if you just no-show for 3 appointments within a quarter, we are going to discharge you temporarily. It's only temporary from that service. You can come back through in 60 days, but we had to have some kind of consequence. Documentation not being completed in a timely manner. We get busy. We might not get our notes in the same day that we see the client. So we updated and implemented a documentation policy that says you have to have the note done within 24 hours. And we're tracking that and working with people to make sure that they meet that. We identified some training needs, which were related, again, to quality documentation. Those were identified through audits. And what we're doing about that is we've begun implementing quarterly trainings for all clinical staff. We've had one completed in, when was that one? In maybe September, and there's one pending in December. So those are some initiatives that we've taken on just to try to improve the quality of what we're doing. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, well, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome back anytime. You sit on that committee, don't you, Doug?
Yes, and we see lots of progress and improvements for sure.
Okay. All right, brings us to our finance section, monthly finance report. I think the audit's coming back to do some field work at the end of the month, maybe. And as far as the
Early
number-
November, yes, they're scheduled for early November.
Anybody got any questions on the finance report? Let me get caught up here. Where I need to be. Okay, we got appropriation for the victim witness. It's like it's $6,109. Justification form is filled out. What's the board's pleasure?
So I'd like to discuss this one a little bit more. I don't understand where the money is. It said it was approved from, I know I gotta get the same page too, and then the same problem. This did, Dave, but I gotta get to that page. But it said it was approved at the beginning, of the year, and then, so. But the funds come from us or they come from the state?
It's a state program, so previous fiscal year, back in the spring, the person running this program had applied for additional grant funding to help support their position through the state. And during that process, we didn't know whether or not it's going to be approved. Then the board gave the 3% raise. So then, so since that wasn't final until after the budget was approved, that's why we're requesting more funding now. And then, so we're getting 5,000 from the state for this position. Then the local contribution is mainly for fringe benefits to cover that.
All right, but I don't see the offset. So like they're doing the codes in here. I don't see the offsetting revenue portion. So it seems like there should have been an offsetting increase in state funds. So all we see is the amount of increased spending.
Right. So you guys have to approve this, and then it'll go to the state, and then she's got a letter written up and you guys need to approve it. Then once it goes to the state, then they will approve it, knowing that you guys had approved it.
Is this something new? I don't ever recall seeing this.
No, the victim witness program is run through the Commonwealth Attorney's Office.
It's the first time I ever seen this. But I remember.
It's the first time that she's requested additional grant funds in quite a while for at least personnel related expenses.
All right, but I guess it's kind of confusing going back and forth because you're saying they need to approve it, whereas this says the 5,000 approved by DCJS. It reads like they've already approved it.
Yes, so we don't have access to the funds till you guys approve it. But like they've told us they have a preliminary approval for it. Because we applied for this last fiscal year.
Okay.
But it was missed during the budget cycle, is what they're saying.
That's why we're coming to you guys to make sure that the total.
It was supposed to be there and it wasn't there. So somebody made an adjustment somewhere along the line and.
So we owe them $1,109 and the state's doing 5,000, right? To get the total 6,109.
No, they only need, it's,
No.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, the 6,109 is what they're asking for.
But the
But
state
some
comes
comes back. That's right.
I don't think it's I thought 5,000 of it comes back.
Yeah.
Not 11,000. It's at 5,000.
Yes, the $1,109. $1,100 is the county
Oh,
contribution.
Yeah, that's gonna be local.
The 5,000's from the state.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
you're gonna
basically,
come back with another appropriation then for us to accept the 5,000?
I should.
No,
Why not? Because this doesn't, I mean, this is only an appropriation to spend 6,109.90.
so
There's
that's,
nothing in here to accept the 5,000. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why there's not an offsetting revenue acceptance.
On the second page.
so this is to
It
reflect
not
the total budget
5,000.
increase.
Mhm.
80,000.
Right. But where's the revenue? I mean, it says revenue increase from spending, but there's nothing, there's no line item adjustment for the revenue increase.
Okay, I understand your question. I mean, we can amend that in the
Like, for
motion.
example, I know we didn't pass this one, but the schools just said, we're gonna get this amount in, and then we're gonna spend this amount. And so it was corresponding offset. There's not a similar to that and this, which is why I think I agree with Dexter's question. Like, then it was not clear how much you get, what's the difference between it. You know, if you look at the exact next, all right, take the exact next request that comes in.
Yeah.
You go, we're moving money. We got, here's 96,000 coming out of this account, moves to this other account. All right, you can see both sides of it.
what he's saying is you need to do an appropriation to bring to accept the 5,000 back into the.
Yeah.
From a revenue
Yeah,
standpoint.
yes. Once they get it, then you need an appropriation to accept it.
I mean, we can do that too, just if you guys feel comfortable with that, we can do that.
Well, I don't mind doing the motion to state that too, and then you just update the form, as long as we're all clear. And again, I think it goes back to Dexter's question, as long as we're all clear, we're getting an additional 5,000. And then it's total expenditure of 6109.90. Therefore, it's only new money out of Amelia of
109.
Yes, and that's reflected.
1109.90.
Yeah, that's reflected on page 2 and 3.
Okay. All right. Well, since I just said that out loud, can we just put that as a motion?
No, you gotta say it again.
Find it. All right. So I'll make the motion to accept this appropriation to receive $5,000 from the state for the victim witness program, and then a total expenditure of $6,109.90.
Okay, is everybody clear on that? Clear on the motion and the numbers? The 1,109 is 90 is what the county is spending. Any more discussion?
And this was all missed in the budget cycle.
Evidently.
Yes.
Was never brought up. Was it? I don't recall it. Can't recall it being
No,
brought up.
we didn't. I mean, they have a line item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line, the numbers were changed or
Okay.
somebody missed
Okay.
picking up this
Yeah.
$6,000.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, takes us to the second one. Go ahead, Joseph. You already spoke on some of it.
Well, I actually have a question on this one. I'm not really sure I understand why we need, I mean, I'm all in favor of this. We're just moving money from one account to another. I understand why we don't have the permanent staff for this, so we're paying staffing agency essentially, and we've all been aligned with that. Does the board have to approve appropriations like this, where we're just moving equal amounts of money from one line item to another?
I thought we made a rule last year that we had to when we moved. I thought we asked for it or started it last year.
I think we did.
It's not clear. I mean, I haven't found the policies for it. I've asked staff, they haven't found a policy
It
addressing
just seems
something like this.
to me. I mean, I'm happy to approve it, but this doesn't seem like a
Well,
good
I'd
use
rather
of-
you guys see it and approve it than us do it administratively, and then you guys look at the budget later on and, well, why did that change?
I think that was the reason we asked for it, and it just falls in the line.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the movement of $96,000 from the finance salary code as presented, which is the finance salary codes to the sole contract staff. Or VMLB.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the transfer of the 96,000. Any more discussion?
I'll just add, this is just a good example why I think we do need clear updated policies on what is more administrative versus what you guys need to act on. So
we don't disagree with that one.
I'd like to get that in place here in the next few months.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Can I just clarify? I didn't mean we shouldn't have visibility to it, by the way. It's just a question whether I have to vote. I think like goes into these next two where you're just giving us awareness. I think it could have been the same thing when you're just doing equal movement of money. Yeah, we should be aware, but there's no impact other than movement. I think, yes, you could put that in the policy that just said, you make us aware and then move on. Just to clarify my comment,
Sure.
it's not.
Yeah.
That I didn't want to be aware.
Yep.
I agree. You named it.
Would you like to do the next one?
Well, I thought the next ones were listed under the no
Give us
action.
the information.
Yeah, the
Those
next
are
ones are listed under no action.
Yes.
So,
7?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the same form. Okay,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
throw me off.
yeah, it's just the checkbox. I like the process stuff. Yeah. So there's two in there that we are just for our awareness.
Maintenance repairs. Nothing overtime.
Yeah.
What's up here? Community Development Monthly Report. Any questions on that? I think all of us kind of pick up the phone and call Austin or Eric when we have a
Yeah, I like it in the report.
issue. All right, I'm catching up here. Let me catch up. All right. Ms. Burley, VDOT's up again for the sidewalk.
While she's coming up, can I just ask a question? So we've got like building and environmental listed on there's just nothing for them this time, is that?
I got DMV, I see that here. And the waste management check is down, that's,
It's environmental on the first page. Yeah, the building, we don't have any big updates on that.
Okay.
Going inspections.
it was in his quarterly report, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw in the quarterly report. Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something.
Yeah.
Something.
All right, I guess we're talking about the phase 2 of the sidewalk project.
Yes, sir. So I mentioned last month that there was a deficit on that project. It's, and the amount was probably for this, report together based off information that we've been known back and forth on. So it's around $294,000. He had shared some questions that the board had regarding that deficit, which, our answers are included here. But did want to highlight that we still have a public hearing planned for the project for next Tuesday at the Amelia Elementary School from 5:30 to 7. So we're still proceeding with that to seek public feedback while the county decides what direction you want to take in terms of funding the deficit or potentially if we need to cancel the project. So we'll proceed with that public hearing next week and can provide whatever community feedback we receive to the board to help inform that decision. I don't know if there are any other questions regarding. Yeah.
Did we ever find out who is to be responsible for acquiring the land? Is that VDOT or is that us?
Yeah.
It's, so it's gonna be y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way agents would do the negotiating and acquisition. I think there was one question about whether we knew if the property owners wanted to sell. Those conversations haven't really started yet, but when we did some field survey work, I think a couple adjacent property owners came out to ask questions about things. Sounds like we don't have any indication that they're not willing to sell, but that is
Yeah.
always possible.
I would say, I can only speak to what I've heard or not, that's my district there. No owner there has contacted me to say they have any concerns or unwillingness to do it.
Yeah.
But doesn't speak the affirmative either. It just can't say that any have opposed it and contacted.
And those adjacent property owners did receive individual letters notifying them of the public hearing on Tuesday. So anybody adjacent to the project did receive a letter inviting, everyone's invited to the public hearing, of course, but they received a special communication that they can come and learn more about the project. And we'll have, should have right-of-way represented there who could speak to them on Tuesday night as well.
You would think there would be sort of upgrade to the property in a roundabout way. People got a sidewalk where they can walk on to the courthouse area and all, where before they had mud and grass and dirt.
Well, and I have definitely gotten complaints, quite a few over the years, about people walking through their yards and tearing that up, which is hard to stop. So I agree. I think this would generally be better, but everyone has their own personal opinion. But I'm in agreement with you, Dexter. That's the way I would look at it too.
Yeah, we'll increase the property value.
I just want to make sure that they're okay with selling.
Well, yeah,
That's my question. I don't think I can go take land for a sidewalk.
That's where I'm at. I want to, if we can see 100% participation from the landowners, that would settle me. But
well, we'd be moving in the right direction for the community.
Well, I think that's what we have to really consider in all of this. Keep in mind, if there had been no deficit, we were already moving forward regardless, and this wouldn't be back up for discussion, period, whether they wanted to sell or not. It's already, we've made that decision. Yeah.
I still think you need to sharpen the pencil. That's a big jump from what we were told to what it is.
But true, but look at everything else out here now.
Yeah,
We ain't working on it every day.
What is the total?
That's what kills me.
What is the total on that phase? I just don't see it on the current paper that I'm looking at.
Yeah, I can't
That's all right.
remember. I
Did
think
we have a
it's
round?
1.2.
1.2. Yeah, so it's 20% increase.
Concrete, I had a builder tell me this morning, $235 a yard. I said, about 5 years ago, I paid $95 a yard when I was pouring it in a barn.
That's a grand alone.
Every day.
But like I went by the one today, I hadn't seen them out there working on the project in a couple days. And then you go by there weekly, but you got all that equipment that's sitting there that's got United Rental on the side of it, that you're having to pay rent on it. It's sitting there idle. It's built into this price.
They were working yesterday when I went by there.
Okay.
I've seen them.
It's just typical government.
all this work, and we still can't get the speed limit dropped on 360.
Yeah, I can't.
What we gotta do?
They're really bribing you here, it looks like,
Being that was brought up.
I didn't hear.
Steve South in Charlotte County, when you get to the intersection to go to Chase City.
Right.
They got rumble strips across the road and they got a triangle sign, a diamond shaped sign that starts flashing before the light turns, so because why can't we have them at these?
Man, I can't even get a flashing stop sign at 38 and 153. You ain't gonna get that on 360.
Yeah, I assume there was some crash history there that generated
Yeah,
that.
that's a bad intersection.
We did do the rumble strips at 360 and 153. Obviously there's not a signal there, but there are rumble strips now in advance of that. And it was kind of a staged approach for addressing a crash history. We'd done other measures there and then ultimately got to that point, so.
When I'm going up through there and I see that on that sign starts flashing, I know to start braking because the light's getting ready to change.
Right.
We can fix this, Dexter. She just said crash history. Demolition derby on 360 at the stoplight. Start this weekend. Go get some junk cars.
Money on that.
Go get some junk cars and we just pile them up.
That'd be
How many do we
the
need?
wisdom in the paper.
How many?
And a lot of it, I'm not familiar with that specific intersection that you mentioned, but sometimes it's based on sight distance too. So if you know that the queuing is going to be far enough back that there's a crest in the road or something that folks can't anticipate stop traffic, that would be another justification for something like that. I don't really see that on 360 and Amelia. It's pretty flat, pretty straight at both
That needs up there.
Goodsbridge and Chula. So
You need to deactivate.
So we
the
don't-
Back to the sidewalks. I do like staff's recommendation they put in here that looks like there is enough uncommitted CIP funds from leftover from previous projects to take care of this one. I know none of us are happy with the increased amount here, obviously, but we would also be throwing away a lot of time, effort, and money if we were to cancel it at this point, and that seems not wise either. So I think all you need you're at this point, we can proceed with we can proceed with the public hearing and then see where that goes and then give you feedback from there.
yeah, and I mean, I'll make a note to the project manager that it seems like the primary concern is related to property takes and that we want to confirm that people are in agreement with that and we won't have to enter into an eminent domain situation.
See you hanging from a tree.
So they can try to emphasize that with folks at the meeting on Tuesday and seek feedback on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we need to go all the way. Don't do it halfway.
I think that's the thing too.
We started it, let's just get it
I
over.
strongly feel this way. We're so far down this road. Another
And I mean,
294
technically,
that was in CIP.
Gonna cost
anyway.
us more if we wait.
Exactly.
it's 200 difference.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay the 47 regardless.
Yep.
So,
Great point.
I
True.
mean, you gotta hit.
Yeah.
Not that I like it, but anyhow.
Okay.
All right, we'll see how next week goes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, neither, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we're paying a lot more now because we chose to wait on this
Yeah.
from 4 years ago when it came to us. Probably came up more times before that even.
That's true.
Okay, we got the board retreat.
I move that the Amelia County Board of Supervisors adopt the Berkeley's Group Retreat Report as presented, including the summary of action items and next steps.
Yeah, he didn't even get to
Man.
talk about it. You done nailed that one.
You ready to go? That's motion on the floor, gentlemen.
The other time.
Any more,
Breathing over here.
any more discussion? We were all there. We all.
So I'll be contacting you all the next couple of days for working on the press release. So we'll send something out here for next week's paper on it.
Okay.
I think it was helpful.
Yes.
Still don't like the cost, but it was helpful.
Oh. I do have a question. Are we there yet? As far as the next meeting, is that gonna mess y'all up that are going to the,
Oh, do we want to?
VECO? Does
No.
that fall into this or is that separate?
No, I think we get down to that.
That's next time.
That's the next
Yeah.
item, okay.
Yeah.
Step ahead, sorry.
See, he really jumping the
I
gun.
am, man. Stepping
All right,
ahead.
Dragging us.
Y'all give me a vote on this. All in favor of accepting the Berkeley Group's report on the work on the retreat? Raise your hand. All opposed? Thank you. Slow down, Ben.
Some public breaks on that scene.
All right. That brings us to the November work session. That was one of the things that come out of the retreat is maybe having a work sessions every other month. And we picked November 12th for this one here, 6 p.m. And our topic was space needs. Is everybody good with that date? Everybody good to set that as a meeting?
Cause you'll be back the day before, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Works for y'all too?
I'm coming back the day before him.
Okay.
I gotta.
He's got a vote.
He's important.
I just gotta go hang out with
I'm not
Loudon
important.
County.
I just gotta say, yeah. Y'all wanna do that now? Somebody make a motion, Benji.
What, for the retreat?
Yeah.
Yes.
I move that we, set up the next workshop for November 12th at 6:00.
Okay. I'll add in that motion, it'll be here.
Sure.
All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. All right. That brings us to the volunteer rescue squad tax. I'll start this, Jeff. May need some of your help. Got two things we need to do here. We do this every year we just appropriate the money back to the squad when they pay their taxes. That's the first item that we can handle. And the second item is possibly have staff prepare an ordinance where we don't have to do this every year.
That's what I was going to say something about.
They're just already exempt. And talking with Jeff, it's going to include the fire department also, just because that's kind of follows the state code. But the fire department doesn't do it anyhow. But so that's two things we got to talk about. So first thing, if everybody's in agreement, I'd like to see a motion on appropriating the money back to the squad for their tax, personal property tax. I don't have the figure, but I think it was like.
It's here. I'm ready. I'm ready for you.
Go ahead. Mr. Easter.
I move the board appropriate $32,797.88 to be donated back to the Amelia County Volunteer Rescue Squad to offset their 2025 personal property and real estate and real property taxes.
Okay.
The real property shouldn't be there because they don't own anything. But
Well, that's okay.
yeah,
It's the amount of their total taxes they were charged.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to appropriate that figure back to the squad for their personal property taxes. Ms. Moore, if you had an issue with the real estate in that, do you want to take the building out of something?
I just thought they don't own the building with that. At the top where it says staff analysis and recommendation, it just mentions it and building, but that's not true anymore. I just didn't know if we need to strike that out or not.
Jeff, what's your opinion on that?
I mean, I think the action that's pending is just simply to appropriate $32,797.88.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
To the rescue squad.
All right.
And that can be the motion.
Okay, that is the motion. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carried.
And as far as the next item, you already teed it up, Mr. Chair. So state law allows the board to exempt certain classifications of real and personal property from taxes. One of those classes that you can exempt are qualified, charitable, volunteer, rescues, EMS squads, and fire companies. So, and that's what, and I've already drafted the ordinance that would do that. And I understand it's really probably a bigger impact for your volunteer rescue squad because they own the equipment, where that might not be the case with the fire companies. But, so this is something you all have not done. You've been in the practice of what you just did.
giving it back.
They come to you with their tax.
Because they were billing for certain.
That was part of it. And that's another piece of it. Yeah, Mr. Easter is exactly right. So in order to qualify under the state law for that exemption, there's certain things they have to meet. And in addition to being charitable organizations, they cannot bill for services. And historically, I believe the rescue squad had billed, and that's common. I mean, it's not uncommon to soft billing, whatever insurance pays you accept.
Yeah.
My understanding, they stopped that practice a year or two ago. So
when it transferred over to the county. So it's still being done, but it's done by the county.
Now
for them.
the county, right.
Yeah.
And then of course, anything the county owns is tax exempt anyway.
Right.
So if in the future, if the county were to own the equipment and already the building.
Yeah.
So the way it's phrased and the way that the draft motion was phrased for what you just did, I just included real and personal property just because that's what the statute says and that's what the ordinance. I mean, it's no harm if their liability in real property is zero, then it's zero. But so what what the ordinance would do, if you all want to direct staff to advertise it, it would exempt, and it doesn't specifically exempt these organizations, right? That's it's a class of property, right? So it could be that a future volunteer company is formed And they would, if they meet, they don't bill, and they are charitable and all that, they would qualify for the exemption. So you're not naming, the ordinance doesn't name these specific entities. It just says all volunteer fire and EMS companies that qualify under the state law. So it's kind of generally drafted like that. So you wouldn't have to every year deal with it. It would just be exempt from taxation going forward. So I think, Eric and I talked about it. It made sense for it to take administratively for it to start next tax year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the ordinance would do. So I think the other motion that's out there, if you want to do it, would be to direct staff to get that ready for next month. For
Good with that motion. All right. So move to direct staff to advertise the ordinance as proposed to classify real and personal property owned by volunteer fire departments and volunteer emergency medical services agencies as tax exempt.
Thank you, Mr. Easton. Motion on the floor. We got a pretty good discussion. Anybody else have any questions, comments? All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, we'll have that, and that'll be properly advertised for November. All right, that brings us to exotic animals.
I don't know. I kind of like the way that it's listed on this, just the exotic ordinance, and then he it just says exotic. So it's a lot more room for interpretation.
Are the snakes?
You don't
gone?
want that exotic.
Are the snakes gone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he can step back with the bills.
Hey, come on back now. So, Chairman, board members, Mr. Pollard, Gore, we're bringing this newly drafted exotic ordinance as a repeal and replace of the current exotic ordinance. There's an increase not only in the county, but as a whole in the country of the keeping of exotics. And this ordinance is a twofold process. One, it allows animal control to have a way to monitor and track what wild and exotic animals are in the county. And this will allow also first responders to be aware and other safety personnel to be aware if they have to go and deal with this as the need arises. And two, most importantly, is safety. That is to ensure public safety, the animal safety, and environmental safety. This ordinance will strengthen and ensure that the county has the knowledge and ability to handle any situation that may arise dealing with wild or exotic animals. And included in your board packet is the drafts of the application and permit. This application is thorough and will be helped to identify each wild or exotic animal that is in an owner possession.
I think it's something that's overdue. I mean, we went through it last year when some stuff got put on us. Thank y'all for working through this. If board members have any questions, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Well, millions of agriculture county. A lot of these here exotic and wild animals transfer diseases to domestic livestock. I mean, we just went through in this country about, I don't know how many millions of chickens had to be put down because ducks coming in, spreading the avian flu. And you take your cattle, believe it or not, a white-tailed deer, if they desecrate in a cow pasture, your cows will abort the calves or either will not breed back. Then deer carry that. So a lot of these here animals, we're not sure what they do if they bringing them in here.
If you have that issue, I'd be glad to come over in the next 2 months. Help you with that problem.
I do not allow poachers.
Oh, legally.
Oh, he's been begging me.
That's because you're down in that little strip of the county that's got them big bucks.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing.
Everybody knows it now.
Number 7, number 8's in the yard being filmed every night.
I think it gives a way to track, that we can track that stuff, track what's here. So I think it'll help. I would need a motion to direct staff to, it's spelled out, if somebody wants to read it.
Go ahead, Todd, your turn.
He's looking at me, so I'll do it.
Go ahead.
I move to direct staff prepare and advertise the proposed ordinance for consideration and adoption at next month's regular board meeting.
Okay, any more discussion?
How does this compare to other counties? Is it stricter, softer, red line?
It's right in line with Goochland, not probably quite as strict as Loudon, but everybody around us doesn't even have one except for Chesterfield.
Oh, wow, okay.
And Chesterfield is just a little different, but it's pretty close.
I just want to add that Brian did an excellent job tackling this and really brought a lot of great ideas, and really hats off to him.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
I do, I agree. I like the balance of let's register and know, but we're not keeping people from doing something. I think it's a great balance too. I definitely agree.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to have this advertised and ready to go in November. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
CIP discussion. Eric, you wanna tee that off?
Yeah, I'd be glad to.
Had some preliminary discussion.
All right, so in the staff report outlined the upcoming CIP process. A couple of highlights I wanted to mention were identifying the $50,000 mark as the new CIP threshold. And the main reason for that is to differentiate bigger projects from maintenance projects. And that was some feedback we had discussed at the retreat. And I kind of gotten that in April and May during the CIP work sessions I was here for a couple times, and y'all were wanting department heads to work on bigger capital projects, not necessarily maintenance related, and for us to come up with a maintenance program or strategy to help give resources to the staff to get more routine maintenance projects done. So my recommendation is for us to establish a capital reserve maintenance fund that would be for smaller projects between a minimum of 10,000 and up to 50,000. These would be smaller one-time as needed projects, and ideally, once we get the audit back, we could find some already existing funds that would be in the CIP that we could repurpose to start this project. So that's a summary of what I have as far as some changes for the upcoming CIP.
You know, I like the flexibility of giving departments, you know, if they got something, a project, something big, you know, they could fund it in 2 years. I think that gives them some flexibility too. The current is 15,000 is what the limit was for CIP, which has always been pretty low.
I'm in favor of what Eric said. I want to be clear. And I think the other part we're still missing is that we just keep saying capital, 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 and forgetting the fact that it's capital improvement. I mean, so even if something's above 50,000, if it's just replace, I don't see how that meets the intent of a capital improvement. And I think we're still seeing too much of that. You know, it just takes an old something and replaces it with the newer version. I don't see that as the intent behind that. I'd like to see better guidance on that going forward. I'm not looking to solve that tonight. I just think that's the other piece that's
more like maintenance.
Yeah.
See, I think they are too. And I think what he's saying, I'm totally aligned with what he's saying there. He and I had some offline conversation of, you know, for example, I'm not in favor of the vehicle replacements being in CIP for that same reason. They're just replacing on a regular schedule project. I don't see how we say to the citizens, this is what you get, you know, in your CIP. It's no, well, you had 5 cars, now you have 5 cars that just aged out, for example, or you had AC in that building, now you still have AC in the building. You know, to me, all of that is still, I agree, Dexter, it's still maintenance. And so if the maintenance fund over time needs to be larger to cover that, well, then it needs to be larger to cover it. Obviously, I'm not saying you don't do them, but I think you need to reserve CIP for where you're actually making an improvement and progress on something. You know, we've got great examples of where we do that, but you don't want to consume so much of the money.
I kind of put in, like you're saying, you know, if it's capital improvement, it's something you can put your hands on. You can walk into it like a new building, new service, something. So that's kind of direction I like to go to. I do think we need to do something maintenance wise, which we can handle that during the budget.
Again, I want to be clear. Totally agree with everything he said. and this other point.
Yeah, because you got a capital improvement, you got something new that you didn't have before.
That's right.
New. I think that's, and new isn't just new, it was purchased, but new as in you're not replacing something.
It never existed. It's
Yeah.
brand new.
Yeah.
Exactly, brand new. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can clarify that in our requests and in the reports that you guys would get with the CIP report, explaining this is a replacement of something that's currently existing, or if this is a new asset, a new feature, new something for the county.
And then we may not be able to do all that in this first year because maybe we haven't built up funds and things like that. I mean, I think about even like the asphalt and all, that wouldn't meet the criteria that I'm just talking about because it was paved before. Well, it depends on if it went from
Parking lots.
Depends on if it went from unpaved before, or if
Yeah.
it went from unpaved to paved, that's CIP to me. If you're just repaving, I don't think that meets it.
That's maintenance.
But we will have to have some processes then to allow departments, including schools, where we, to build up funds like that over the years, because those kind of things need to be budgeted over a period of years. Otherwise, you end up with these incredibly lumpy cycles, which are hard for us as well. So that's what I say. We can have goals, and maybe they're not all achieved the first time. You can start working them in, though.
I think this will be a good change for the first, it's a change, it's got a, department heads will have a mindset change.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing all of them at once, we work through this, and then we see what we can add in later on.
Because we've been lacking on maintenance.
Yeah,
Everybody knows that.
yeah.
Definitely agree.
Are you good with that, Eric? I mean, we don't need a motion to.
No, this is just an informational. And the last point I'll add to is with this capital reserve maintenance fund program, hopefully we would have it flexible where department heads could submit requests to myself and it could be handled more administratively, some of these larger maintenance projects, but they're not necessarily capital related.
Sounds good.
That's all I got.
All right. All right, it brings us to the tow lot discussion.
Yeah. You can wing it. Sure, you can have it.
I'll give it my best.
All right.
I think your staff summary kind of
You're
said
doing
it
it.
all.
That's real simple for me. I can tell you right where it goes back to. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, he was trying to get me hung up.
Not hard to do, is it?
Yeah, stop picking on Todd.
Sorry, Mr. Chair.
Tow lots, we got a staff summary. There's been some issues with some tow lots that came up over the past month. Currently in our zoning, there's no zoning that allows a tow lot. So really, this is something that really needs to go back to the planning commission to work in, work out, and bring something back to us. Anybody got any feelings or?
Well, we should look at our surrounding counties and see how they approach this issue, and so we could be sort of in line with what the surrounding counties are.
Okay.
I mean, I've been told right now, and I'm emphasizing that Chesterfield puts a limit on how much they can charge for a tow. Up to a certain distance, then I reckon it goes out the window. I don't know if it's true or not.
Do that.
Well,
That's a whole separate issue.
Yeah, that's not a
So if
lot.
you want to regulate the industry,
Yeah.
there's a process for that. That's establishing a towing board.
They're not.
There's
I think
state
so.
law and provisions you have to follow. Localities do that. Some do.
Some you do that.
Yeah, but that's all set out in state law. If you want to regulate pricing and other things within the industry in the county. And that's not what this does. This is a zoning approach.
Didn't know that. Learn something new every day.
I'm not
Let the free
recommending,
market
I'm not
take- yeah.
recommending. you
Let
do
the
that.
free market take care of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it needs to go back to planning. They need to.
I'm on the planning commission. I'm also on the zoning committee. I got surrounding counties ordinances. Is there anything else you want me to pass on to the planning commission when we start this?
Out of these four options, was there a strong preference? Or two options in the staff report at the bottom? There's potential options of 4 bullet points.
Oh, I didn't see those options. I thought those were just,
Well-
I didn't see those options. I just,
Okay.
I thought it was one, I thought it was one proposal.
No.
Oh, I see.
Or narrow it down to 2 and then kind of.
I think, I think when we see what the surrounding counties do,
Yeah.
that'll give us a place to go.
I don't need to get involved at this point. I think that's their job. Fine, to let them work it out.
Mhm.
All right, those,
I think the key is to allow it, decide where we want it by right, and where maybe it's not allowed at all, and where it is allowed by special exception, like most everything is in there. It's the fact it's not allowed at all is right now is a problem.
all right.
I mean, honestly, the M1 and M2, I think you could probably toss that. I don't think you could restrict them on just those two items
No.
for a buy right. Because I mean, that eliminates all your business properties.
You're saying throw that out as being the only thing though?
Yeah, it's saying this is the only one that's a buy right would be M1 and M2.
Right.
They're the only ones you could do without coming to the board.
Yeah, that's why I didn't see this really as 4 separate options.
Yeah.
I was like, it's got to be a combination of these things in
Yeah.
here. I thought these were just options. Yeah. Yeah. So you want a motion to send this back, or let's wait till that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll make a motion to, let me go back to the page. I'll make a motion to ask staff to, why is there no language on this one? To ask staff to send this request for tow lot definition back through the planning commission to look at as part of an ordinance proposal. Sorry.
That's close enough.
I think so too.
It's going back in the planning commission.
I think just for clarification, this is not initiating a zoning amendment at
No.
this point. No, this is just for their review and recommendation.
Yeah,
Right?
recommendation.
And then you
Yeah.
guys consider what they
Correct.
recommend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we'll start the official.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is for their, yes, for them to initiate the process. I'll clarify my motion for them, for the planning commission to initiate the process for the review and recommendation. Yes.
Get the ball game started.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right.
I've gotten so used to the language being there for me.
Yeah, no,
Right?
It's not in my crutch.
Jeff, you let us go.
I was missing my crutch that time.
Yeah.
Baby steps, we're getting there.
Yeah, it's getting.
I know, no,
it's
it's
getting-
fine. I can actually do it when I have to. I'm just no longer used to it. Right.
All right, well, let's vote. I can do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
All in favor? Send this back to the planning commission. Raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, brings us back to Eric. You want to go over it? We kind of read through all of it.
Let's see.
Waste management went up a little bit this month.
Yep.
It did. So that amount, I'll read it for Wayne, is $234,031.36. So out of my report, the one thing I'll highlight is we pushed the bid date back. Pushed that back to the 21st. And that was just due to VDOT responses. So we should have hopefully some good responses next week. That's for the animal shelter project.
I give you a compliment on, I know I asked for some changes around the waste management report, which I find more helpful than just the single check. And I really like this, kind of to the comment that was just made. I like seeing the annual average. And for example, now seeing, okay, we're averaging also, not just the individual check, but we're averaging, well, we're only 3 months in, we're averaging higher than either of the previous 2 years as well. I think that's a really helpful way to view it.
Yeah.
So thank you for making that adjustment.
Sure. Absolutely. Does the board have any other questions for me?
Eric, one thing that just happened today is Jess recorded the deed. So you now own the animal shelter property.
Oh, great. All right. Excellent.
The future animal shelter property.
So we can get started on it. A lot of people be happy on that.
And some forms I've got to sign and fill out, finish the,
On the school.
do that, and I'll do that in the morning.
Thanks.
While we're on the landfill, I got just a brief of information, if I could. Evidently, the landfill had issued given out a letter to some of the people that went there that caused some confusion on what they could dump in the convenience centers. Not sure if it was ready to be released. I'm hearing, but anyhow, I sent the letter to the chairman of the LAC, and they have a meeting on Friday, so they will figure it out and come back. Probably gonna ask him to come to the board meeting next in November, because I got like 4 phone calls of them, so it's, and let them address and whatever it is, we'll go from there. So just a piece of information for y'all.
Thank you for sharing.
You'll hear about it Friday.
Yes, so.
Well, Dixie.
Sorry, Eric, you finish yours.
I don't have anything else to add unless y'all got any questions for me.
Okay, I think it's all pretty clear.
All right, sounds good. Seen, I seen in human resources updates that we're up to 202 employees.
Yeah,
Did everybody, am I reading that right?
you are, and that was, but I think that is challenging the way it's reported though, because I don't know, maybe we need to pull that back up. I looked at that too. For one, it's counting all those seasonal employees. Like if you look at the number,
What's the question about?
how many employees, makes us look like a huge number of employees. But like the second highest group of employees is the registrar's office, which as we know, only has like two.
Yeah.
But they show as 30 some.
During election season.
Yeah. That's
And they get paid $100 and some dollars. You know, it also shows employees, sorry, I'm trying to pull that word, but it also showed the a couple of those committees, like the zoning appeals board. So it's anybody that we issue a check to kind of ever. I think it would, there we go. Yeah. So it counts Board of Equalization, 3 employees. Then it was the registrar is 38 employees. You know, we know that's the biggest number that's kind of throwing it off. And there was one other, well, even us, I mean, it counts the 5 of us and we're, you know, $1,200 a month.
Probably counts the planning commission too.
Oddly, I didn't see them. Oh, no, there they are. Yeah, sorry. Planning Commission 10. Yeah, so I wonder, I think we kind of need a break to break that out between like regular employees and then
appointees.
Which page is it? Can you give me that?
It's Mary Beth's report here. So
Page 3 in her report.
and it shows us jumping up. Well, that's the final, but like when you just look at organizational growth, see, like that's what he's saying. We're showing us at 202 employees. Like that number just feels really high to us. Because we don't think about all those other people are being.
Yeah, we have a lot of
paid
part-time people.
And they're paid a stipend.
Yeah.
Being paid a stipend is really different than being an employee. You know, I understand they're in the system so that they can get a check, but that's a whole different classification of people. Now, she broke it out. When you get down to that pie chart, she's got the down here, and you see the biggest slice, 111 people are seasonal. But I think in most of these other things, we just need to take the seasonal out then and say like,
What's what?
more like, and there's also a bunch of seasonal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You know what I mean?
so you just want the report displayed differently?
Yeah.
or?
David probably.
Okay.
It's terribly confusing, like.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, be
because
glad to
we
talk
don't-
with you all
because
on
they're
it.
not employed, yeah.
What's the number of regular full-time employees?
Well, then it would only be 91,
Count.
it'd only be 91. So I mean, that's how big a
Yeah.
difference it is. You'd have an over 50% drop. Yeah, it makes a big difference. So you were not alone, David. It threw me off for a while and I had to spend a good bit of time on that one.
I'll get with him.
Yeah.
Figure out something.
You have the same question. Yeah, you have the same comment though. So.
All right.
All right, that brings us to our
They-
comments and committee reports. I'll go first tonight.
Yeah, he must be excited about that.
We had
Saturday morning.
kind of disappointed. We had 59 residents in Piedmont Jail last month. So people are acting up.
That's a lot.
So that kind of took me by surprise this morning. But I do want to say, we do have 6 career firefighter medics here in the county. And I listened to the radio Sunday and they worked. So did volunteers. Every cruise was out Sunday. Without them, we'd have been in a mutual aid situation. I want to welcome them to the county.
I like the on that. I know it's your time, but I just like that. I really like what emergency management's putting out on their Facebook page. They've been sharing lots of updates of like with detail of what they're doing for the county and the training they're going through and all. It's been very, very detailed, helpful information. Yeah.
All right, that's all I had. Dexter,
Yes, sir.
go ahead.
Well, I ain't had one meeting since the last one, and that was a PSR, and it was very interesting, and I'll just leave that at that.
Yeah.
The CRC has been postponed till next Wednesday. And that's it. And, voting is coming up before we have another meeting, and the people need to get out and vote. Because if you don't vote, you got no reason to complain.
Yep.
That's it.
Benji?
We got lots of activities going on next month or so. Go out and attend something. I'm gonna have my next town hall November 14th at 6 at Company 3. So everybody's welcome to come out and see. Yeah.
You're a big boy.
Food?
No, nobody ever come to East Smith. Wanna
You
die.
get
That's why you don't get nobody there. You got a problem.
So, yes, come on out November 14th. And I guess my next meeting's Friday, so I can't report on that one, so.
All right. Go ahead, we'll be Todd's last.
I'm not sure I have anything valuable to add, so I will actually just move on to Todd though.
Had a PSR meeting last month and we'll leave that at that. Be careful with Halloween with the youngins running around, and while you're driving around, pay attention. There's gonna be plenty of them out there. Just be safe. Enjoy the fall weather.
Yep. On multiple dates.
What?
They do trick or treating on different dates. Some churches do it on this day and school does it this day. It's so it's
Yeah,
multiple
but
days.
they ain't out going door to door on different days.
Just saying.
I don't know.
Move-
Look at much move to adjourn.
Thank you.
Who did it? Make sure we get it right.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
All in favor, raise your hand. All right. Thank you, folks, for coming.
Got somebody here. Charles. Yeah, I got a double check, but we couldn't be about a lease payment.
All right, you got this? You need to take it across the hall.
You don't mind taking it across the hall for me, I appreciate it.